Okay, hello, welcome to Trainz Route Building Live. Building the Milton Valley Railroad still, yes, we've not quite gotten to our second route project. No, not quite yet. Let's just say that building an entire route only on stream does take a lot longer than I had originally anticipated, especially also with chat interactions taking time and which is great, but it is taking a long time. So we're getting there. I mean, if I switch over here, you can see build all of this, with the exception of that one base board there. It's all built live on stream. And I mean this branch going up here, that's finished pretty much. Yes, there's going to be tweaking necessary in bits, but this branch is pretty much finished. This over here is the sugar farm thing is finished. Going up here, this branch is now just almost finished. Just need to finish a little bit of it, which we might get to do today. Well, and I need to place some boulders along the canyon, but that'll not take that long. So all we've really got left to do after that is one, continue this valley down here a little bit to where a town is, which shouldn't take that long because it's not that mountainous down here. The valley is quite wide and not that steep. So going over here to a town, which is probably going to be there, would be my guess. So that's one. Two, continue this line up a little bit further to another little town, probably a log pickup area. And this one over here a little bit to a town. Those three, and then down at the bottom, within the city, continue the main line along a little bit to one or two stations and then a terminus. And then the route's finished. And then it'll just be time to make sessions, and then we'll move on to the next thing. But we're not there quite yet. So let's get to doing what we're going to be doing, which is doing stuff over here at Silver Falls. Hello, Kangafango. Hello, hello. Yes, waves frantically. Yeah, we do eat up quite a lot. Enough time. Sounds easy enough. Sure, of course it is. So, here we are. Last time, I think I had increased the render distance a little bit too much. 1 moment. Yes. Let's reduce that down to like 2.5 kilometers. It's much better for streaming. Last time, put pretty much all of this grass here. All of that grass, we did a lot of fixing stuff as well. Improving areas. Like, for example, moving the fire station over here and, improving stuff up here as well, moving things around. So yes, what we need to do now is finish the grass work up here. So in pretty much this area that you can see, and then put some detail around these areas like barrels and things like that. So basically just a little bit of detailing work there, and a little bit of detailing work here. Maybe set up the industries. I'm not sure if I've given them the proper stuff yet. I don't think so. No, I haven't. So, got to set those up. And then I think this area will be done. Yes. That's pretty much it. So, let's get started. Okay, so I quite like the look of this area being non-spline, because that contrasts to where the splines are, and it's a little bit taller grass here. So that's okay, but I do need it along the fence, because otherwise the fence just isn't visible enough. Hello, Willis1961, welcome! Good to see you. An idea for the little airfield. It could be used for corporal dusters instead of small private aircraft. Oh, crop dusters, not there. Sorry, I misread that. It's hold on. There we are. Crop dusters. Yeah, true. True. But I don't know that I want to have crop dusters there because then every time I'd go up to the little airstrip, I'd think of the poison being sprayed on the crops, and I just don't really want to think about that while I'm trying to enjoy a Trainz route. So, but yeah, it's a good idea. I think I'll stick with these though. Fuel tank. Good point. That's a good point. Let's do that. Let's do that now. Tank. Actually, I'm gonna go over here because I think I've got one at the gas station that might fit. Where would that be? Well, that would be over here. Yes, this asset maybe. The JR fuel tanks. What if they sprayed blue volcanic ash? Ha! Yes, definitely. Up here, yes. So I think the best place for these would be right here. Of course, I'd have to line them up properly. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the exact position where they should go, don't you think? An in-joke, yeah, it is an in-joke. No, don't worry, I'll get rid of them at that point. Not that type. Those are too big, small horizontal tank on legs. Oh. Okay. I mean, this is the first time that I've modeled an airstrip or something. Prior to this, I've always only ever used the very old airport asset that has the animated airplanes on it. And I think the last time that I used that was in the Scar Hills route, if I remember correctly. Ah, would it be something similar to this, maybe? I know it says bitumen, but maybe it looks sort of like it. Would that be good, do you think? Not quite that big. Yeah, because I suppose they wouldn't... Maybe like this? Maybe more? That's closer. Okay, well then let's look through. Maybe I can find a better one, but let's keep that one there for now. I'm guessing that would be a little bit too big then as well. Although it might fit quite nicely with the color scheme. That, yeah, bit small? Maybe not. I'm not that knowledgeable on the subject. Me neither. Too big for here. Yeah. Although it would fit quite nicely with the color scheme because, I mean, I'm not, like if I had this here, look, you've got the red of the brick here, the red of the, well, I'm guessing this is either, yeah, it looks like brick. Red of the brick here, then you've got the red of the rust, and then you've got this red of the tank. That would fit quite nicely, but you know, I think I will use that one if I'm choosing between the two. Now this one just looks like one of those tanks from Thunderbirds when they're, like when the atomic, at the atomic power plant that was sabotaged. No. Just no. Also, I was wondering, is there going to be another collab stream on Monday? Monday? Ah, right. Monday. I'm not sure yet. Not sure yet. Maybe. Because the new Human Fall Flat level did release. So I do want to play that with my two friends. Again, one of which is Hangar, the other one is Emichu. But We haven't discussed it yet, so I don't know what time would be like. Plus, I did get the East Coast main line, which I do want to take Flying Scotsman on as well. So we'll see. Maybe we can do both. I'll have to ask MHU. That looks. I don't know. ECML? Yes. East Coast Main Line. The whole ECML? Yeah. All the way from Totnes to Exeter, yes. No, all the way from King's Cross, London to Waverley, Edinburgh. I mean, that might be better. Because that fits more color-wise as well. King's Cross to Waverley? No. What do you mean, no? Do you mean this one, no? Or that one, no? Or both, no? Both. Okay, well, I guess that's that then. No, not that. Hello, VGR, welcome. Those were some nice photos of the electrolyzer on Discord. Ah, yes, that fits much better. Are you sure you're not hiding like an X-ray, well, not X-ray, a radar? Are you sure you're not hiding a radar array in there? That's too big, I think. Almost. I think we can save a bit of time and just use this tank. I suppose you'd really have it over here, wouldn't you? Probably actually just around the side here would be my guess. Maybe sort of like that. Just quickly fix the spelling mistakes. Nice. And by the way, what railway was operating the British Riviera? Well, originally it was built by the Great Western Railway under Isambard Kingdom Brunel, where he put his broad gauge. I think it's 7 foot 11 inches, I believe, somewhere around there. Broad gauge along down here. And originally it was, well, I think it was originally built as the atmospheric railway. It may have been updated to it later, but the atmospheric railway ran down here, which was basically a steam pipe running between the two rails, with which had like a slit running down the center of it at the top, which had like a rubber or a leather flap going over it, which was sealed with beeswax. And then you had a train, which the front car of it had a piston that went down through the floor into the pipe, which could be the piston could be turned. I think it's turned. Yeah, it could be turned, I think, to either block the pipe or not block it. And there was a heating element, which was just powered by a tiny little stove in the locomotive, or the front coach, to melt the beeswax ahead of the arm of the piston, which went down into it. And then the way that it was propelled was through a stationary steam engine, which I think created a vacuum within the pipe so that the atmospheric pressure would push the train along. Now, there were some issues with it, mainly that in the summer the beeswax would melt, thus making the seal no longer be, well, sealed, and thus stranding trains very often. So they had to have traditional steam locomotives there to then rescue those trains, which isn't very good. Now, there was a fix for that, which was used in Ireland, I believe, because the idea actually does come from Ireland, if I recall correctly, where they had a metal guard over it, which also protected the sealant from rain, which meant that the piston would have to curve around the edge, then come in from the side, from above, from the side, and then down, which the GWR could have done if they wanted to, but they didn't. Probably would have been too expensive for this temporary thing. Well, not temporary, for this experimental thing, I should say. Do I prefer this area with trees there or without? I think I prefer it with, although I'm not sure if I like that one, and that's up close. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, that's the atmospheric railway, and that ran down the English Riviera, operated under GWR, until they decided, okay, we're gonna stop with the whole atmospheric railway thing. It's not proving itself. We're just gonna switch to conventional steam. So they switched to conventional steam, and then the GWR operated down here until the merger, where, although, yeah, I guess it would have been up until that merger, because the GWR operated, because a lot of the other railways were merged together using, then combining to the LMS and LNER and the others, which I think GWR never got incorporated into that. I think GWR operated all the way until it got merged with British Rail to form British Railways, but I could be mistaken. You should double check that fact. Now I'm gonna just move that one down to the ground a little bit, just to create a little bit more of an interesting bit back here, and I will read chat in a moment. Might as well place some of these trees over here and move those into the ground as well, just to add a little bit more of that texture. Looks a bit like part of that structure from the one Snowy Gary's mountain map. Jim Boreas? I have no idea. The big sphere. English Riviera? That was the GWR and then later BR. Oh, okay, good. Besides the hangar and then a fuel pump in front of it. Yes, the fuel pump, of course. And now its first group, who are currently also called GWR. Well, their trains are, their train company. Also, in a small dirt airfield like this, they could use one of those open-sided buildings like you have at the lumber yards as a hangar. Yeah, they could, but I did think about that as well. However, this shape just, it feels more like an airfield or something like that. If you're exploring the map, you look over here, then this shape is pretty unique. This isn't anywhere else on the route. If I had like that shed, that open shed, like I have at the lumber yard, then it wouldn't be as easily recognizable as something different. Yes, I know the runway is a bit of a giveaway, but still. Good idea, though. Well, I just want to know, because I imagine the electros are running on the Riviera. Ooh, it would fit really nice down here, I think. Alright, good to know it was the GWR. Also, fun fact, the Riviera line was never electrified. Same goes for all lines within Devon and Cornwall. And for the Woodhead line, what company operated that? I think it was the Woodhead Electric Railway, if I recall correctly. I think it was its own thing before it merged with BR, if I recall correctly. But please, double check this, because this is just recollection. This is not knowledge that I'm particularly confident in. Shadows, will you put some sort of dog on the meadow beside the airstrip somewhere? Maybe. This is the type of tank I was thinking of. Let's have a look. Oh, I see. Something like that. Actually, I mean, the only one that I can think of at the moment is a wooden one for water, and that wouldn't really work that well. I think this one's probably the closest one we're gonna get without going through a lot more of the list, which would take ages. It's a history? What do you mean? History. Okay, interesting. Yes. The dog is sleeping in the secret underground tunnel between the church and the fire station. Yes, of course. He's currently off duty from guarding the mayor's helipad. Yes, the helipad, of course. Oh, also. Well, actually, you wouldn't be able to see properly. One moment. Actually, no. You know what? No, I'll show it to you on Thursday. Why not? That's more fitting for the Star Trek role-playing stream anyway, because that'll be better. So let's look for pump. Oh, you meant something like this, probably, so that the airplane can just pull up and then say regular, please, and then no. Don't worry. So something like that, probably. Not sure if the pipe is too wide. It might be a little too wide. But there aren't that many different assets like this anyway. Maybe a little bit more in front. Well, that's a bit of a strange angle because of the way that's angled. Maybe something more like this anyway. I know, but there aren't that many pump assets. I'll look through the rest of the list. It's not very long, but I doubt that we'll find something more fitting. That could work. No. That'll work. Just I mean, might not even look that bad actually. I don't know. Maybe not. That's an interesting one. Might actually place that over by the fire station anyway. Although actually maybe that wouldn't look that bad. Let's see. Wide enough? So unfortunately I don't think electricity would run on it. Alright, before that. At least you don't have an overhead walkway above the runway. Yes. Yes. The LNR would be in charge of the wooded line when the electrolyzer were being built. Oh, that would work, or something similar. Right. Oh, interesting. Right, would be interesting seeing it in, probably, a linear apple green, even if it wouldn't make sense in universe. Well, now that you bring it up, I could make a livery for the LNER. That'd be nice, but I need to come up with a name. You mean you would come up with a new livery for the LNER, not using one of the ones that they actually had, you mean? Okay. Why doesn't that scroll? Well, it would be a standard livery. Well, if it's a standard livery, then you wouldn't need to come up with a name, because they already have names. Sentinel of Loch Ness. Why not Sentinel of Gul'dan, That fire truck looks a little too European. Let's have a look. Does it? I suppose it does. Maybe. I don't know. It's such a nice model, though. Maybe they imported it. It could... Maybe they, back in the day, they imported it as a state-of-the-art technology. And then, like, as a prototype, and it just somehow ended up here. Years and years later. I like having it there. True, it looks a tad British. The La France would fit better. Yeah. I would like having it there, but we can there's plenty of lore that you can think up to make that make sense. Stick a US flag on it and call it a day? No, we would never do that. And it's totally not a metaphor for anything at all. Or rather a... Well, I suppose... Well, the car, I mean, the car would be the metaphor if there were one, but there isn't, so... Okay. Now, I'll just put the grass along the edge of the forest, and I guess we can fill this bit in-ish. Because that is a little bit more vigor. Not to the extent that we've got big bushes or shrubs or small trees and things like that. But just to the extent that there's a bit of taller grass there. Let me just look up some linear locus and analyze the paint scheme. Nice. Sure. Also, the Flying Scotsman, the locomotive, was originally built for the... What was it? The GNR, Great Northern Railway. And then it was quite quickly transferred to the LNER. Just the London Northeastern Railway. This is a small volunteer fire station. They would only have 1 or 2 fire trucks max. You have 1 inside and 1 outside now. And 1 inside and 1... 1 inside and 1 outside now. Well, maybe they're both outside at the moment. Those could be the 2, because I haven't placed 1 inside. It could be that that the 2 of them are just so happen to be outside at the moment. Maybe they're doing rebuilding work inside. I just really want to use this asset because it looks so nice. And you're only really going to see it from back here anyway. Good Northern Railway, yes. Like the Starlings. Maybe the fire station's being clean for of house fires, and that's why they're outside. No, not house fires. No, but it could be that... It honestly looks out of place to me. Kangafanga, what do you think? Does it? If it looks out of place to you, yeah. Okay. Well, then I guess see ya on a British map sometime. Yeah. I suppose it does fit a little bit better now like this. That's okay. Okay, well, let's continue with the grass in that case. No, don't say sorry. If it makes the route better, then that's great. Which in some other, which I'll see some other time, fire truck. Ooh, working on it. Okay, so after I finished putting down the grass, which I think I almost have now, I will go over it with, actually this bit needs a bit more grass. I'll go over it with the longer grass texture that I've been using on the map. And then, oh right, then I wanted to put in some of the more watery grasses near where the river is. Now this doesn't work, that looks too inline. How about that? Maybe? I don't know, maybe? Yeah, that looks good. Although now I really do need like 1 or 2 more grassy bits over here, just to make that fit in a little bit better. Actually, that looks quite good. Although we could use just a little bit more over here, just a little bit like that. I'm quite happy with that. By the way, Kango, I'm gonna name it like that. It kind of reminded me of the old London cabs. Oh! Oh, I see. Yeah, I can see how that would be a little out of place here. It's not like I've got an actual London cab over here anyway that took a wrong turn somewhere. Because that would be really out of place, wouldn't it? I'm so glad that I don't have that anywhere over here, because yeah, that would really be out of place. Yes. And it's also totally not got like a name that would give it away that it's an Easter egg or anything like that. Nice, thanks. Sentinel Loch Ness. That sounds real good. It does. Gonna give it a red detailing though, instead of the gold one you see on GWR LMS. Right. Okay. Turn one of the airplanes around and make it look like they just rolled it out of the hangar. Well, yeah, but the only issue with that is that this hangar asset, I don't know why, but the door on it just is so small, unless the whole front of it opens up. So that's why I didn't really do that. And I did look for other hangar assets, and this is the best one I could find. The other ones would be much too big for this area. So, like, could you explain to me how are airplanes supposed to fit in this hangar? Like, does the entire front open up as well, or because it looks like this is the only door that it has here. I don't know much about about airplanes or about airports or anything, or airfields or strips like that. Right. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Door should be entire width. So you mean that with this, if we take this hangar as an example, looking like this, do you mean that this door looks like most of the hangar assets are for large commercial aircraft? Yeah, but for example, if we take this particular asset, for example, are you saying that this entire... No, but this is clearly a wall, so you're saying that this door is just a bit too small in that case? That the door down here, which is clearly a door, that is a bit too small, because the rest of it does look like it is a solid piece of wall. The door itself should be wider. Yeah. That's what I thought as well, because I don't have any airplanes that would fit in there. So that's why I've placed them at a little bit of a distance, so that if you're over here, you're not necessarily going to pay attention to the sizes. That's why I've put them at a bit of a distance. So, I mean, it worked, because you said have one that looks like it's just rolled out of the hangar. So, yeah. And I can still do that in sessions. Like, if I can create a bound layer in a session, put one of these airplanes on it, and then have one of these airplanes be have it vanished, have it invisible, just for that session, and then I can place another one here that looks like it just got out. Maybe it's a warehouse asset doors that you could place around. Got a doors that you could overlay on the hangar. You've just got the same idea. I can look for it. Warehouse door. I do have some warehouse doors, but I mean that would I don't know if I... Let's just look for door. And let's see if I can find something that would work better. That one opens, but well, no, that wouldn't work. No. None of these doors are particularly wider than this one. I mean, that's a big door. I think that door would be big enough, don't you? Although I think a bit tall. Snap. Is there a door spline maybe? That is how they actually work. Maybe use two smaller ones, like next to each other. Maybe. Should be one that slides to the side and could be in multiple sections. Yes, but I don't... But that one in particular was too small anyway. I mean, what rotation? 51.7. What if I rotate this to 51.7? That's gonna be that's not gonna be right angle. So I could maybe use one of these doors and put that in front, and then have it be like in multiples. Like if I have maybe one that, well, hold on, I need to put this one on temp locked. And if I put one of these doors maybe there, if that's the correct rotation-ish. And then maybe have another, what rotation is that? That's, well, that is 1 for 1.7, 1 for 1 for all, no, 1 for 1.9, sure, that's close enough. And if I have these ones be kind of like that, then maybe if I place two more, well, one more either side, that might work. It's a bit more. Hold on. And that'll be fine. Yeah, because if they are in multiple sections that are kind of on their own rails, so that they can be overlapping, essentially, then that could work. What does that look like? Well, I'd need to move this. I need to move the hangar down slightly because currently you can still see the other doorway, like the little edge of it through. So let's just move this down slightly. Like that maybe. And then I can use a little bit more of the dirt texture to make sure that it actually runs up to the thing. Maybe like that. Although I do want a little bit of the darker one over there as well. Come on, I want the darker texture. There we are. So, I think that actually looks quite nice. Which means that if we do have that, I can have your ideas, having one of these ones that's like just rolling out. Maybe sort of, well, they must have rolled out before. Maybe they're just over here refueling or something, as they've just rolled out, and then because the doors are closed, I obviously can't have them open because, well, there's a wall behind there. It's like that. Yeah, that does look like there's a bit more action going on. And you can even we can even still have the old door back here, which is like the old overgrown. That's fine. And actually, I think Hangar, you had that idea last time as well near the end. Put 3 or 4 of those. 4 of those side by side. That looks good. Perfect. Lovely. Which way around should it be? Yeah, I quite like that this way, because if it's just come out of the hangar, it should probably be facing that way. Okay, so now let us right, texture. Let's do the texture of the using this texture. Yes, right here. This is the one I want. Let's double check, make sure the waterfalls are still here. That's there. Yes, good. And that's also good. That's also there. Good. So yeah, now I'm just going to basically paint over the taller grass areas to, well, to make it look a little bit better. That's always the goal here, making things look just a little bit better. Although that Miss Catherine Stadtholz, though, you never would have guessed, would you? You never would have guessed. I mean, she was so totally innocent, and there was nothing at all suspicious about the whole thing. Should I paint over here, over that as well? Or should I leave that brighter? Actually, maybe a combination of the two. Maybe a little bit like that. I think that's good. Oh, she was sassy? Yeah, she was the one who, at the end of the last Pathos episode, she was the captain of the freighter, if you recall. She was the one who, I mean, did you see the end of the last Pathos episode? Because I don't want to spoil it if you haven't. By the way, is it written Loch Ness or Loch Ness or Loch Ness? I think they're two words, because Loch just means lake, basically, and Ness is the name of it, so I think it's two words. But Kango can also advise. Number 2, yes. 2 words. Yeah, see, there you go. I know how that works. Totally. Yeah, adding this darker texture underneath really just adds so much depth to it, especially when shadows are off. Susie? No, she was Catherine. Hahaha. Yeah. Yeah, the next Arthropleura episode is where we are going to have a time skip. And yeah, where we're gonna catch up as it gets interesting. So, because now we're hot on our trail, so, well, I say hot. We are at the moment cold on our trail, but hopefully by the beginning of next episode we'll be hot on our trail. And here I'll just add a little bit more of this tall grass, going, I'd really like it to go a little bit closer to the water without necessarily going all the way in. I think that'll probably be best. Unless maybe I can pull this a little bit closer in towards the tracks. I don't think that I actually did that here yet. Ah, that's great. That's much better. That, sure. Well, the name plate on the linear electrolyzer would be pretty long then. Sure. Oh, there we go, we're back. Sorry. A little bit of that over here. Over here. Let's have a look. Also, this thing, well, it does span half the length of the... yes. Yeah, that would be a little long then, maybe. But if it looks good, then I suppose that's good if it looks good. And if not, then not. But some of the nameplates on some of the locos are pretty long. Like, I think Dwight D. Eisenhower's nameplate on the A4 is quite long. Yep. Union of South Africa as well. True. Which, yes. When I drove the A4 on stream that time, the Sir Nigel Gresley, I was so confused by the self-lapped brakes, and I thought that it was an inaccuracy, but after looking it up after the stream, I found that no, they did have air brakes installed, specifically. Oh, what were they? The American ones, the Westinghouse, I believe, Westinghouse air brakes. So no, they some did actually were refitted with with automatically lapped brakes, so that was good. Oh, sometimes they do them in 2 lines. I don't think I've ever seen that. Sure, also, did you see the link? Yes, I did see the link. And I even looked at the picture that it linked to. Ooh, let's have a look. Ah, yes, Southern Pacific. Yeah, that is 2 lines, but that's the operator's name, not the locomotive's name, which I think VGR was after. Like the actual locomotive's title, not the operator. By the way, can anyone post a link to an LNER logo? Hangar might be able. Yeah, hold on. There you go. Need it to fill the gap on the front and rear plates. Number plates. Okay, so that's... Did I already paint that? I think that I did. Yeah, it looks like I probably did. Okay, so, except for this bit. I haven't painted this bit yet. It's so easy to miss areas with this painting. But then if they're easy to miss, then does it really make that big of a difference? The answer is yes, of course it does. And then after I've done that, then I'll add the water grasses and plant things. And then I'll do a little bit more detailing around some of the industries, adding rusty barrels and things like that. Okay. Yes, but into our key, it's easy to miss areas too. You mean like the platform, or what do you mean? Can you resend that Kango? I want to copy the link. There you go. US didn't really name locomotives much after mid-1800s. Yeah, true. So LNR logo, just letters, no fancy logo. Well, no. Do you mean the... Oh, right. You mean not the company logo. You mean the... Because they... Oh, no, I'm mistaking it with a different company. Never mind. I just confused it with a different company. I've just remembered a moment from last week's Saturday tabletop roleplay game that was quite funny. I won't go into details, but I just remembered. Yeah, there's this. Okay, I will go into this later. There's this ensign on board the starship who has been acting kind of weird lately, and for a while now the players wanted to speak with him to have a look, to see if everything's okay, like what's going on. And it's just every time they manage to catch up with him, something else happens, and they start having quite a bit of an awkward conversation with each other in character, important conversations which this ensign really isn't part of. And so he always just kind of disappears, and like you look around, oh yes, and his name is Ensign Orini, and say, oh yeah, by the way, Ensign Orini, he's no longer here. Yeah, and then it's always like, ugh, right, we'll have to catch up with him later because they haven't managed to speak with him about it yet. He did like already 2 or 3 times now, which is quite funny. But I don't think it was on locus. Maybe very small somewhere, but not full scale. Not sure. Well, I might just leave the gap. I wonder why. In the UK, I think they named much more locus than in the US. Yeah, I suppose so. But in the UK, I think in the UK the locomotive, it might have something to do with the distances, because in the US, I mean, in the UK, it was mostly passenger locomotives that were named. And it might have to do with the distance, because, for example, if you're taking a train from London to Edinburgh, then that's one locomotive that can do that journey without, just one locomotive that can do the journey, and because it's relatively short, you don't need that many running at the same time. So you can spot those locomotives. You've got the train spotter things as well, where because the back in the day, in the like, well, I suppose it goes back further, like in the 30s all the way up to like the 60s or things like that, you had these train spotter things that were published by the railway companies, where they had all of the names and numbers of the different locomotives and or rolling stock in it as well, where you could tick off which ones you'd seen. So because of the shorter distances, probably means less locomotives, and the ones that you do have the locomotives are probably going to be going by more often. So it kind of makes sense to have them named, especially since the railways in the UK were always kind of very prestigious, if you know what I mean. You know, the kind of prestigious, like building a palace for a hotel as part of the station. Yeah, that kind of prestigious. So that might also be part of it. And in the US, I suppose, yeah, they did. If you in the US, if you've got with steam locomotives, you've got passenger trains, with a lot of them longer distance ones, because the distances are just so much greater. The locomotive would often get replaced part of the way through with a fresh one. So that might also be part of it. Because in the US, the trains definitely did have names. Like, for example, you had after the song, you had the Cannonball and then the Wabash Cannonball. You've got the 20th Century Limited, you've got the Broadway Limited, you've got lots of other ones. You've got the Starlight one, which is named after the Daylight, and the Starliner or something like that. I don't recall exactly what it was. You've got, of course, the Zephyrs, like the California Zephyr, the different Zephyrs. You've got lots of different ones. There are also the Chiefs. There were multiple trains that have Chief in the name, some of which still run. And so the trains do have them, it's just locomotives generally don't that much. Also, I think I am going to paint along the fences with a darker grass texture as well, and just underneath the grass. just on the edges there. Over here as well, maybe not, I don't know. Let's have a quick look. No, I preferred it the way it was before. One moment. I'll rechat in a bit. Okay, that's nice, that's all good. Okay, so well, actually, I need to have a look over here because I don't think that no, I didn't finish this. So let's rechat now and then. He sounds sassy? He sounds sassy. Well, maybe. He's a computers expert. He's an NPC that was introduced sometime in 2019 in the game. Might have to do with the US railroads having such a large number of locos. They quickly ran out of names and just gave them numbers. Yeah, that makes sense. Susie? Nah, it's English Orini. It's Ensign Orini even. Alright, yeah, that makes sense. Try this. 9F Black Prince, 9F Evening Star. Yes. Which is why I said mostly. The US did name the high-end passenger trains. The Hudson, Daylight, Burlington Zephyr. Yeah. Hiawatha. Super Chief, Broadway Limited, Daylight, Hiawatha. Yeah, but those were train names. Not so much specifically locomotive names, right? Like, for example, the Flying Scotsman is originally the name of the train, of the service. And then the locomotive, the Flying Scotsman, was named after the train that it partially served, that it served. But the Super Chief, Broadway Limited, Daylight, Hiawatha, I thought those were train names rather than locomotive names. Yes. Grand Central Limited, California Zephyr. I still like California. Can't comment on that as I've never been there. RL, me neither. All I can say is that from what I've seen, it looks very nice. That's what I said. They named trains, not locomotives. Ah, yes, right. Did name the high-end passenger trains. Yes, of course. Of course. Sure it is. Yeah, that's a true point. I think I prefer it like this, actually. Do I? No, I prefer it like that. Right. But they did name many locomotives in the US in the 20th century. Give me some examples, please. Oh, didn't. Oh, that, yes. I said didn't. All right, I misread that then. That's... yeah, but see, I'm thinking, I thought, wait, 20, that doesn't make that... I can't think of any. Please give me some examples. And as it turns out, you said didn't, which would invert the statement, of course, so... Not really, they pretty much stopped naming them in mid-1800s. Yeah, I accidentally misread it. He did type didn't, which pretty much completely inverts the meaning of the statement. But they even named individual coaches for high-end passenger trains, or on the Pullman trains, for example. Oh, did they do that in the US as well? Yes, I misread that too. something about that sentence just lends it to being misread that way. I thought they did. I don't know. I know the Pullmans down in the UK, the coaches were named, but I'm not sure that they did in the US as well. They might have, but I just don't know. Yes, usually with a theme, like all diners on a particular railroad might be named after lakes, and sleeper cars might be named after presidents. Ah, okay, so they did. I didn't know that. Good to know. I just noticed that I had misspelled it as well, typed Haim instead of name. Ah, well that that wasn't the thing that was misread though. Well, technically it was, since it was read as named rather than as a name rather than Haim, so it was technically misread. But as intended is the thing there. Yes. Okay, so we've almost finished. I just need to do the other side of the river, I think. Oh, and maybe a little bit on the other side as well. Who knows? Although I don't really have any grass plants that would need this. Maybe I'll just add a little bit of the texture along here. Yeah, that adds a bit of detail. Tell you what, let's add a little bit of the spline as well. Make sure I've got the correct one selected. Let's just add a little bit over here. Yeah, that fits better, I think. Okay, almost. Just need a little bit more down there on the edge. Right, so is this all painted? The answer is not quite, almost. So a little bit of up here as well. A little bit up there. Okay, now. Yes. Okay. Now we'll grab the water plant assets from here. Were these? Yes, these are a spline. These ones were the sedge ones, yes. Okay, so I was thinking just having a bit of this in some of the places along here, just to make this look a little bit, well, a little bit more like wet area, which it surprisingly is supposed to look like. Let's give a little bit more detail in some of these places. Although, do I want it to be that close to the tracks as well? Actually, I don't think I want it over past this point, because that just... that's... not convinced at all. Over here, yes, I think it fits, but I think I need to use this quite sparingly in this place. Otherwise, it just wouldn't really fit. Would that fit? Does that work? Oh yeah, now here it works. It works great, but in that other place, not really. Right. Not all railroads named their passenger cars. Some just stuck with numbers. Alright. The larger the fleet of passenger cars, the less likely to be named. That makes sense. If they'd run out of names, they could always name them after company employees. Well, what if they run out of company employees, and then they run out of people to name it after, since they've run out of company employees? Do I like this little bare bit of grass here? The answer is yes, I do. Good. Okay, now do I want... Actually, no, I quite like the way this just fits like that. I will add a... Actually, I've already got a little bit back here, haven't I? Yes, I have. Okay, so... maybe just a little bit more from here going that way. Ah, yes. That... Yes, I'm going to keep that. Good. Hire more company employees. Okay, that looks good. Do I want any of this over here, maybe? Just a little bit like that. Yeah, I think that might work. I think that works. But then I need a little bit more of that over here as well. And a tiny little bit over here. And the thing is, I would love to extend this line further so that you'd actually drive down there, especially with this sedge growing over here as well, like a bit more soggy the ground. But then this would just the route would just be much too large. Add some more sedge along the river shores, riverbanks, I suppose. No, I don't want to. Not over here anyway. And back on this side, I don't really need to, because you're not really going to go that far back here. And if you do go back here, then it's a little bit too elevated on this bit. Ah, yeah, looks nice. Okay, so we've done this bit. So now the two remaining bits that I wanted to do is one, add more details around some of the industries like barrels and things like that. And then set up the multiple industries to actually, well, work. So, right, let's look for barrel. No, not like that. Like, wait, what? Oh, yes. I may have accidentally typed an E instead of an A. And, oh, actually, Willis 1961. Is this more the type of tank that you were thinking of for the little airfield? Yes. Ah, great. So we found one just by accident. It's called fuel oil barrel, not tank. I knew you did have one somewhere. Let's just have it like that. That does look much better. Okay, let's have a look. Not quite. No, not quite. Well, that would be where you'd fill up an electrolyzer from. Ah. Okay. Huh, there's a fire truck going down there with flashing blue lights, but not actually with any sort of siren, which is good. And it's stopped out in front of the church. Okay. With that one, you don't need the pump in front. Barrel or yellow cake? Yellow cake. Okay, I'll have a look. Well, actually, I might as well have a look now. I didn't see any... Oh, it does have a hose. I see. There you go. Okay. Let's have a look. Maybe these oil drums could fit somewhere. Not there, of course, but maybe sort of over here. And again, with shadows, this would look much better. Like that, probably. Yes. Ah, there we go. Sorry. Okay, let's have a look. Maybe some of these barrels. Sure is. That is so strange. Believe it or not, there's some sort of an emergency vehicle right up the road from me as well, with blue flashing lights and no audible siren. Coincidence? I think not. I just wanted to put a little bit more detail around these places back here. Maybe not necessarily barrel groups, but did I skip past the derelict barrels? I think I might have done. Yeah, you don't really notice it, but if you're down back here and you just look over there and you see a few barrels there, that's all I want. They are sneaking up on the fire. Yes, of course. Wouldn't want to alert it. And when they've surrendered it, then they'll all turn the sirens on at the same time. Yes. Or stacks of pellets. Yeah, stacks of pellets is another great idea. Thank you very much. I will probably place some of those then. And actually... Maybe some of the barrels are just stacked up in this way over here, although that looks more like it's supposed to fit trucks back there. No, I need some more of the derelict barrels. Yeah, just a few more. No, not that one. That one's on fire. I don't particularly want the one that's on fire. That really just needs a little bit more of a grass going through it to really sell it, but not that much. I'll just lower this into the ground a little bit. I tell you one thing, the Coopers on this map must be doing really, really well. If you don't know what that means, Cooper is the name of a profession, like Smith, for example, namely people who made barrels. That was the name of the occupation, a Cooper. But that's not what I wanted to rotate. Hold on. It might just be easier to do it like this. Want to get a particular rotation, one moment. There we are. Put trucks. Well, will you put trucks here as well? Maybe. And or peer-to-peer semi-trailers. Also say shave. Yes, put one of those half barrels by the hangar. It is where they clean parts they are painting. Oh, repairing even. Ooh, that's a great idea. There we are. Let's just put it over here. Ooh, and are there maybe... If I look for parts... Oh yeah, we've got building parts. One moment. Maybe I can even find... Or maybe if I look for... Look here, we've even got on a pallet some... I don't know what that is, just... Oh, that's Festinjok railway parts. It's a funnel. Look, it's a... Maybe not then, but... If you don't look too closely, that looks like it could be airplane parts as well. I have no idea what airplane parts look like, but it might work. If we maybe look for machine. No, those are all vending machines. That's not particularly... I was looking more for machine parts, but... Workbench, sure. Oops. Ah, here we... Oh, yes! What's the difference? I've no idea. Let's try for the V2 version. I'm sure it won't be a rocket. Well, I think the fire truck just passed by with its blue lights off. It hissed as it went by. And done. Repainting. Repainting. Putting up some pictures of it right now. Nice. I'll have a look. Ooh. That does look nice in that paint scheme. And if I've got this workbench here, then I suppose I could have the pallet as well. Actually, this would probably make more sense if it were maybe more like this. There we are. That looks really nice. As long as it doesn't rain, but then they'll just do it inside. Although that needs to be rotated a little bit this way, I think. Will you put the LNER lettering on there as well? Should I maybe put a work on extra parts? Maybe, but I would like to do that in sessions more. I would put a shed over roof over the bench that has electric tools. True. Bum 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 bum. Actually, hold on. Didn't I have something that might fit over here somewhere? One of the... no, I guess I deleted it. Anyway. Maybe. I mean, nah. That's... no. Yes, this will do. By the way, Alinea is already written in the side of the front. On the bit behind the cab, inside of the white lining, maybe? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I can try searching for shelter. Okay, bye-bye, Vigia. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing the pictures as well. I mean, that's a nice asset for the wood stuff. I might be able to place that somewhere over here. Like maybe just sort of like that. Although it might look a little bit more European, I don't know. Although I suppose you'd store firewood outside as well. Yeah, I'm searching just for roof, so I would find those as well, I suppose. Okay, well, let's look on the DLS. Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff for this. No, that's like too enclosed, or maybe I suppose I can try it. If I only had a heart. Alright. Right, I didn't see it on the side. I changed it so that the font is yellow, if that's possible. Right. Wait, sorry, that's the Tin Man, yes. And not the TNG Tin Man either, it's the Wizard of Oz Tin Man. I thought I saw just a roof, but you went too fast. Oh. Let's quickly have a look. I mean, there are barn sheds. There is a corrugated roof spline. There's this, but this is much too big. That's a shed with the tracks. No, there isn't an asset that one. That one between the buildings? Between the buildings? Oh, do you mean this one? That's just, yeah, collapsed corrugated hut. Or do you mean that one? Down one. Wait, so is this This one, the one you meant. One moment. I've just remembered the face cam. That one. Yeah, that is a spline. I can have a look at it. Roof spline corrugated. It's this one. That is that spline. Which... I don't think that that fits that well here. I don't know. I suppose I'd have to add poles between hangar and other building. Yeah, that's what I thought as well, maybe, but... I suppose maybe like something like that, but... I don't know. Or just a few feet off the hangar, the couple of support poles. Yeah, but I quite like the grass between here. I don't... Okay, I'll put it over onto the side, over the side here, just so I don't forget it. Then I'll search for today, because I wanted to test, not that, I wanted to test this. Because this asset, this shed asset, also has a back wall, which that might work a bit better if I just move this into it kind of like that. Maybe that would work. But then you can't really spot it that well. If I remove the grass, obviously. Okay, let me put it onto no payware. The grass is still a bit in the way, one moment. Like that. It's okay if there's still a few grass strands in the corner. Let's see what this would look like. Yeah. Oh, or against the hangar. Yeah, against the hangar could work as well. Because that way you can still kind of see that there's stuff going on there. Yeah, I like that. Like a little work area outside. That's nice. Yeah, give a shelter just long enough, yeah. Move it under, turn, bench sideways and place against the hangar. Right, yes, that's it. Or maybe the whole shelter? Maybe not. No, I like it this way. That is good. Okay, so... Alright, pallet. Sacks on a pallet. I mean, that might fit somewhere. Maybe just kind of here for some reason. I have no idea. Could you place a track worker asset by the shelter? Or will that be done in sessions? In sessions, like I said before. Okay. Stacked pallets, maybe. That's a bit too small. These are IKEA one. No. These ones might work. Yeah, that fits better here. Can I roll this? No. Okay, let's have a look over here. Yeah, just having, I don't know, let's have a look. Oh, hello, the also Chris. Welcome. It's been a while. How are you? I'm just placing pallets, as you can clearly see. Just add a bit of detail in this area, just finishing this area up. Should chat probably. They do a lot of the repair work outside when there's a breeze because it gets really hot in those tin buildings during the summer with no AC. I can imagine. Alright, I didn't remember that response. Not me being late, Skulk. Hello! Hi! It's been a minute. How are you? Good. Good, good. Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that for some reason. Good. So, let's have a look up here. Does this also require some palletization? By palletization I mean just pallets somewhere. Maybe just one. Maybe just a pallet. Well, I said one. Maybe just a pallet there, just to indicate there is some pallet work going on. And then, question of the day. Ooh, is it a dinosaur question again? Or a prehistoric animal question? Yes. When was the last time you watched Ben 10? I've never watched the series. However, technically, if you count looking at a depiction of Ben 10 as watching it, since I'm watching the depiction, even if it's static, then, I don't know, the last time I probably saw it on a YouTube thumbnail that was recommended or something like that. Or maybe a poster. But I've never watched the show. Have you? Also, you're a very vibrant blue for me. For me, you're a very deep blue. Never. Never! Same here. Anyway, not nuclear waste pallet. No. No. Let's have a look. What do I need? I wanted to see if I can have some hopper, or well, covered, some kind of covered truck things here. You know, trailers. Covered lumber, blah blah blah. Covered footbridge. Okay, let's have a look at. Let's just look for hopper. No, that's chopper. Let's just have a quick look for trailer. I might be able to quickly find something that might work. Why not? Well, I can have some of these farm trailers over here. That might work. Give them enough space for tractor or something to pull them here, or a truck in general, actually. What is your knowledge about Arthropleura? Well, I know that it was a giant centipede, or closely related to centipedes and millipedes anyway. It lived in the Carboniferous and early Permian, if I remember correctly. It lived, well, it was found in Scotland by the tracks that it left in the mud, which then fossilized to stone. And it is a herbivorous arthropod, which in early depictions it was depicted as a carnivore, but we now know, and I say know with some degree of uncertainty because paleontology always is changing. So we now know that it was a herbivore. Yes, and that's about it, I believe. I've got a question for you all too. When was the last time you watched Joe 90? Haha, I've seen it many years ago. For me, it'd have to be around 2012, I think. Maybe. Never heard of it. Maybe a bit late. It's Jerry Anderson show made in the UK. Oh, here the intro is really good. Trails should be faced other way so truck can hook up. Yeah, I thought these were. Yeah, but the thing with these is I think that these are more like tractor trailers, not necessarily semi-trailer truck trailers. Like, it looks more like they're supposed to pivot like that. I thought there was a wheel in front, but I suppose this way around would also make sense for that other thing as well. And I'm deliberately keeping them a bit wonky. Okay, let's just quickly look through the rest of these, because what I wanted was something like that, but that looks much too modern, I think. Maybe some no, not that. Nah, that looks, well, no. Maybe something like that. Although, I don't know. It looks low detail enough that I think it might be able to pass for the time period. Although it does look a bit modern, doesn't it? Sure. I'll look for something better. That would be not too modern. I'm not sure that the type of trailer that I'm looking for actually existed in that time period. I'm looking for like a covered, like a covered hopper, but I suppose something like this would do. I don't know what they're exporting there, but they're probably going to be exporting something. That's a bit too much. Let's have a look. Right. Now, yes. Where is Ghost Lady? Ah, that is a good point. Well, I thought that she might become more active around autumn/fall, but there wasn't really that much. Maybe she's just waiting until the Star Trek Pathos streams get a bit more spooky, which they might do. And then she might make an appearance. Who knows? Maybe she might. She might. Truck. Haven't heard from her in a while. Maybe she'll return to live streams when Shadow continues his game dev live streams. Maybe. Yes, I didn't even notice it was mistyped until you corrected it. Ah, right. Oh yeah, Tuck. Yes, truck. Too modern, bit modern. 3-axle trailers are more European. Those trucks are better. Old cameras. Maybe 2-axle ones? I think this works. Shadays, was that planned to appear in Star Trek Pathos from the very start? No. No, it was not from the very start, but it might happen now that I'm thinking about it. Who knows? So, right, we've got like 8 minutes to go. What needs to be done on this? Well, we've got to set up the... I suppose we might as well set up the... actually, this area could use a few trailers. Hold on. I'll just like place a couple of these here. Yes, I know they're importing the planks, but just having a couple of them here just to signify more of a lumber or wood area anyway. Although no, that doesn't work. It does not work. That's the issue with it. It doesn't work. It would have to be these ones, but these ones are I don't know. These ones, well, I suppose they might work. No. I might put some stuff there. Well, crates, of course. Hold on. How could I forget about crates? Yes, like that. And what will you have, sir? I'll have 8 minutes to go, please. Why is the passenger station at the end of the Spur by the Airstrip? Well, 2 reasons. One, I suppose this might be more my Brit... I said this in the other stream as well, but I'll say it again. This might be more my British railway influence, because here it's not at all uncommon to have a station like less than a mile away from the next station, even on quite rural areas, especially in the 60s or 50s. There were a lot of little flag stops very close to each other. But I do get what you mean. There is a road connection. You could just get a car, walk up here. The other answer, the second answer, is just, well, I like the look of it, and I like the idea of having like maybe a special train that's maybe just like a switcher look or something like that, with just maybe 1 or 2 coaches coming up here to pick up some special some VIP some VIP passengers or something like that. I don't know. I just like the idea of having it. Maybe, yeah. I was thinking maybe just having like a flag stop, like maybe it being a flag stop or something like that. But then again, the train wouldn't really pass by here, so that's why I put the building here instead. I do get what you mean, but I think it just really completes the scene in a way that it wouldn't if it were gone. If it were like this, yeah, I mean, maybe just having a platform. Maybe if it's just a platform like that, then it could be used maybe for passengers if there is a special reason for it. But then again, now it just kind of looks a bit empty. I feel, at least. Although, I don't know. I'll read chat and then maybe I'll think about it again. For some small arriving airplanes, there's a station in town. Doesn't make sense to me that the train would run between them. No, the train wouldn't run between them. It would be exclusively used for special services. Like maybe for, I don't know, not necessarily passengers, but maybe for workers who come up here. Maybe maybe they've got a special thing. Maybe I don't know. It wouldn't, this station wouldn't really be owned or maintained by the railroad. It would definitely be part of whatever company owns the airstrip, and they maybe have a station for their workers, where maybe you've got a special coming in from the other towns. That's maybe a town that's down that way, so that maybe a special train that's already got like a boxcar of parts or tools or whatever, and then I know it doesn't really make that much sense. It doesn't really make that much sense. You could just get off it. You wouldn't need the building necessarily. I just really like the way that it looks, basically. Mountain trips organized by city mayor. If you'd lay invisible tracks down, you could also have AI plane landing on the runway in session. Yes, I could. Wouldn't be a flag stop on a spur. Yeah, it wouldn't. Have the player wait on the railroad inspector who's coming by plane. Private Airstrip wouldn't have enough passengers to warrant a train into the town itself, but not the spur. Yeah. I do get it. Maybe if I did just delete the... Hold on. Maybe if I did just delete the building and left just the little wooden... I can barely even call it a platform, like the wooden boards. Because then it can be used for a bit more ambiguously. So I can still use it as a passenger loading, unloading thing in special sessions if there's a special reason for it. But it could also feasibly be used to load or unload cars of some sort. What do you think about that? A bench? No. If this was UK, yeah, I'd put a bench on, but not in the US. Anyway, while you think about that or are typing, I will have a look at the multiple industries to see how they can be. Or actually, I think we'll do that next time, because we're already at 11 now. The Spur is there is to basically serve that one building at the end. There is really nothing else out there. Yeah, for this thing, yes. I will keep the platform. Well, I say platform, the boards. I'll keep the boards, but I'll get rid of the station building, even though it looked really nice there, I find. But yeah, it does look a bit better this way, in terms of making sense. I think that's a happy compromise, if there even is such a thing. So let's get a thumbnail. What sort of thumbnail should I get? Maybe over here. 50 over time. No, I kind of have to end on time today. Let's increase the render distance a bit. Front of the hangar? What do you mean? Oh, as the thumbnail. Maybe. I'll get a few images. I suppose I can delete the ruler there. Hello, Punzistor. If that is pronounced, please correct me if I'm mispronouncing it. Welcome. You're just catching the end of the stream, unfortunately, just taking the thumbnail. Shadows, do you prefer Builder 2.0 or the original? Well, I've not had a chance to play with the Surveyor 2.0 yet because, well, I don't have access to it. But I have heard a lot of good things about it. Hello, welcome in. Hi, I've never tried Surveyor 2.0. Pivot 90 degrees to the right and set the and get the railroad tracks. So you mean like that? Again, it would look better with shadows, but I've been here. I've been having fits with it. I've been having fits with it. I've not tried it myself. Rotate. Put a sign above the hangar saying Silver Falls Harefield. I don't know. From the end of the runway. Oh, do you mean? I don't know what you mean. Like, or do you mean more like that? Yes. Okay. On this particular, I don't know if I'm. The thing is, if you see it on a small thumbnail, I don't really like having a lot of empty space on it because that just looks boring. So, Dirt Airstrip don't normally have names. Yeah, but it's probably going to be the only airport, which is in heavy air quotes, on the map, probably. So yeah, I see what you mean. Anyway, I think some of that'll probably work. Anyway, now I need to lower the render distance, place a few trees just for safety's sake. So when I save, and then we'll end the stream. I think those were a few too many trees back here. Hold on. That doesn't make sense. Although if it's Trainz, I think it could help if it had a name. if you're looking at it on the map view, for example. True. But on the map view, the industry here, the multiple industry, would already have a name. So anyway, that's the stream. Thank you all very much for watching. This stream will be archived on YouTube. And on Monday, we may do the new human fall flat level. I don't know yet. Along with some train simulator, probably. Yes, private airfield. Maybe yes, good idea. Thanks for streaming. Thank you for watching. Good night. Bye-bye. Basically. Yeah, true. Bye-bye. Tomorrow, yeah. Hangar, we're probably going to do a multiplayer stream tomorrow as well. That's a good point, actually. Bye.